Hello, good morning, and welcome back to Ars Nouveau. Today's episode 7, and we've got a lot to do. I'm up here on top of my storage area. I did put a bunch of purple carpet here, and honestly, the only reason for that is so that my base looks purple. Yeah, that's it. I want purple. The arcane stone here, the map mod here, is making that just look gray. So, my base looked kind of boring from above, so put some carpet on, now it's purple. Next up, you can see I've been doing some work on designing this. I decided instead of the kind of temple church thing I was thinking of, to turn it into a clock tower. For a few reasons. One is we have create, which we can then put a clock tower actually in here. I also want to show how the mage blocks can be used. If you amplify these, they'll stay forever. So basically that means you've got an infinite building block for things like wireframes of buildings. Extremely helpful. Then the other thing is I've been working kind of a little bit on the outside here, trying to decide what I want to do for the color palette. I think I do like these living rock brick walls. Difficult to say. Kind of add like a little structural support around it. I don't know what materials I want for the top though. To continue on with what we had worked on last week, if we go in here, you'll see everything is full. So this has been working. I put a little monitor on one of these just to kind of see what this fill level is. If we go downstairs, I've put sparks on everything and just augmented them, and I added in this little system here which reads just one of the random pools. It doesn't really matter which one. If it has a signal strength more than 3, it will output. So if it outputs, it will first lock this one, which basically will just turn off that torch there, which basically just frees up this thing here. And then over here I'm using a locked repeater to prevent it from sending the cart around. I don't really want the cart to get stuck if it's been offline for a while, so for now it's just going to stay right there by just locking its repeater. That means we've got 10 mana pools down here. Yeah, these are all filled up. 10 mana pools, each with a level of 3, which is, what is that, about a fifth or something, so basically about 2 mana pools down here full, as well as then the 14 up top here. It's a little bit dark. I need to figure out lighting in here, what I want to do. And then also off camera, kind of with help from some other people on the server, I want to say Amurin, I think Derringer's the only one online right now. We had gone through and kind of compiled all of the enchantment books that we have. So we got Mending, Unbreaking 3. We're also trying to collect a bunch of these ancient tomes. I've combined them to the ones that we have. So for instance, we've got power. I think I got a power 6 in here now. Punch 2, Infinity Flame, Power 5. Did I actually combine that? Punch. Okay, so Punch I haven't combined yet, whatever. I don't use it that much anyway. Tools, we've got a Fortune 4 now, Efficiency 6, and Silk Touch, of course, doesn't really change. I need to get, I'm still looking for a Protection that's higher. So we only have Protection 4, not Protection 5. Did I add any of these? Feather Falling, we're up to 5 now instead of 4. I think we have Sharpness, maybe. Still only looting 3. So kind of work in progress here. I also have an extra one of the forest. I have basically opened this up to anyone on the server at this point. If anyone needs anything enchanted, they're welcome to. I haven't really done anything too fancy with these. Kind of a meme around the Discord server is that the clothes here look kind of like pajamas. If we put everything on. It looks like you're wearing kind of weird fuzzy pajamas. So yeah, just went with that. Sleep mask, pajamas, sweatpants, and some fuzzy slippers. Nothing real fancy, just kind of whatever I had over in that thing over here. I didn't bother like searching for higher level protection on these. This is plenty fine for pretty much the rest of the game. Later on, if we find a protection 5, we can use it, but for now, not too worried. Over here, I have this carbuncle here. Currently, he's actually only stocking a couple of these. So we've got steak, we've got pork chops, and I think chicken is empty. And that's pretty much, he's just bringing stuff over from the storeroom. So if these get lower than these 2 stacks of steak here, I have steak on me so I'm not going to grab it. He'll just fill it up. The regular stone here, since this is using an item frame, he will only put steak in there. So that's helpful. And then down below, in order to get stuff down here set up properly, I have one guy who's just kind of forever banished to this box, and he just grabs things from up here. He'll grab the steak, pop down here, and put it in the chest. So this is now full. Everything I think should be full. I've also been manually throwing some things in here, so I've got some source berries, and I think I put some mutton in here. Yeah, because I've got some sheep going as well. Chicken's more difficult. I'm probably going to actually take chicken out of this system. The reason for that is the breeding squisher thingy. It doesn't work too well for them. They're too small. They keep getting stuck into a corner there, and then they don't actually get the mob cramming cap of 20. So basically they just kind of sit there and lay a million eggs, which, okay, cool, I've got eggs, but I don't really need them. I'll have to come up with a different system for the chicken. But that is kind of it for what we've done off camera between things. Yeah, I need to figure out this design. And actually, that's not what we're working on today. What we are working on is in our storeroom, and you'll notice a couple of these things here. This is a corporeal spark with some phantom ink, so it's a little less obnoxious. Normally they look like that. Reminds me to fix that. Let's grab a phantom ink here and just go boop. There we go. It doesn't use up the phantom ink when you do that. It only uses the ink if you are changing your clothing to not be visible, which we have cosmetic armor, so we can do that anyway. Over here, we have a shiny new thing called a Corporea Index. If you've seen any of my videos in the past, you'll know that I love Corporea. I can just go up here, I can say 3 stack sand, if I spell it correctly, sand, and boom, we have 3 stacks of sand. He'll come up here because he wants to grab it. Yeah, I got my 3. So that's one minor problem with these guys, is they are very diligent. He wants to grab stuff. I don't really want him to grab stuff. So either way, he's fine because mostly he just sits over here anyway. But that's a little thing in the background. I am slowly going through trying to sort things out. For instance, I've got ores stored here. I've got various heads here. We have a cosmetic armor mod here. So I was trying to come up with a thing that would be an interesting hat. However, it just kind of looks, I think Zacharias described it as a rod of uranium or something sticking out of my head. So, yeah, whatever. Put it back. But what we want to work on today is this problem right here. I've processed most of my ore. I used Zacharias' crushing wheels to kind of get those. However, I'm always low on gold. That's a problem. So I actually want to be using this in a lot of my building. If we go up top here, my plan is I want to have a lot of gold as like highlights everywhere. Specifically, for instance, right here. I don't want this to be dirt on the top of this house. I want it to be gold. So that's a thing, but the problem is I don't actually have that much gold to work with. Can I plop you right there? So that is kind of what I want this building to look like, and I want it on other buildings as well. I want gold everywhere. Gold, I think, really works well with the purple everywhere. So yeah, that's going to take a lot. And so since I'm using it as a building material, we need a proper gold farm. Now there are a few options we can do for this. One is we can use Drigmies through Ars Nouveau. Honestly, I'm trying to avoid them. They're sort of a one-size-fits-all solution. You basically just capture mobs, stick them nearby, and now you have infinite of whatever it is. I could do even like a wither skeleton, and now I have infinite wither skulls, which, yes, very handy, but kind of takes the fun out of it. I like building farms, I like building automation, and it's a little too easy for me. So instead what we're going to do is we are going to walk over to Zacharias' place. We've worked on just a little pathway, nothing too fancy. I do want to get more mega torches around here, because I think mobs can start spawning out here pretty soon. But I like the kind of just dimly lit pathway. I want to put more of these lampposts in place, as well as some over here. And we can get over here to Zacharias. So he's been working hard. He's got some floating crystals there. He's got a little magic shop up top there. And you'll notice I'm holding a wand. This is kind of an interesting combination that we kind of figured out. I have a firework rocket, which has a whole bunch of firework stars in it. And I have a wand that just does projectile, accelerate, firework, which is basically just a single firework. That's it. Normally, if I cast this, it does nothing. But if you have another rocket somewhere in your hotbar, it doesn't really matter where, all of these now use that. Which is pretty cool, because that means this spell basically costs, if you look at my mana bar down there, it's practically doing nothing. In fact, the worst thing that this does is my frame rate kind of suffers. But if we go find someone to play with here, let's jump over here, because I was kind of actually hoping there'd be some mobs. We hop down here. We have, I think I saw some skeletons on the map there. There's a creeper over here, I think. So if you hit them directly, this is the most damage you can get with just a vanilla firework, which is, I think, 19 damage. So if I look at him, he's down to half a heart. I think spiders are a one-shot kill. And as well, this is actually an area effect. So if you miss a mob, then it will just launch like that. But if you hit them directly, just similar to a crossbow with firework, it's gonna just explode directly, which is pretty cool, and a whole lot of damage for basically nothing. Now the problem is that this is not able to be modified with fortune. You can't stick that on here, but it's pretty useful. The actual intent of what I was designing this thing for, or what I was trying to figure out what I could do with this, was for a mini game, like a paintball arena, which I think would be a lot of fun. We can do that later on, but for the moment, it's a pretty useful tool that, I mean, you can just spam this thing. I'm actually paying attention. So yeah, basically costs no mana, can cast it forever, and does everything but half a heart of damage to pretty much everything. Yeah, so even if you miss, it doesn't really matter. And of course, you can see it up in the air. Pretty fun. But yeah, anyway, like I was saying, we're going to go over to Zacharus's place because he has a Nether Portal, and we are going to work on a gold farm today. And I will post a link in the description to the original creator of this farm that I'll be using. This is by IanX04, who has a series called Minecraft Elegance. Basically super simple farms that are, it's actually shocking how easy they are to build, and basically how small of a footprint they are. So the basic idea is you have two little spawning areas way up near the top of the nether, and what you do then is you sit way up above, and you are pretty much exactly 128 from about this block here. That means this area over here, nothing can spawn in, and anything that goes over there will despawn. This is one corner of the farm. Then everything else in here, they spawn, and ideally would go into a portal to go up to you. Now, the nice thing about this is a modded series, this isn't a vanilla series. So while IanX04 has nether portals, which are quite a creative way of doing it, I'd say, I don't have that limitation. We have warp portals from Ars Nouveau, which can go within one single dimension. So the original design, you have to send them over to the overworld and send them back, and basically have carefully placed portals so that they will exactly line up. They go into a portal here, they go into a portal in the overworld, which moves them one block higher, then they warp back over here, way up at Y1 or 200 something, wherever it is. So yeah, with this I can actually just swap that out for a warp portal from Ars Nouveau, and it's just an instant teleport within the same dimension. I don't have to worry about loading two different dimensions or having other people online. I just get crazy rates as long as no one else is in the nether. So we are almost done with this. So you have to clear out 2 chunks by 2 chunks. Just a 2 block high thing here at Y118, and then another 1 block above us. So we'll have 1 floor gap and then another level above us. So I'm going to go ahead and finish clearing this out, and we'll be back once that part is done. So the strength of this design really is kind of apparent already. This being a 32 by 32 platform, over there is more than 24 blocks away, and they are already spawning. That's because we are up so high that there really isn't anywhere else for them to go. I guess we're down here at 118, so we can go pretty far down, but when we're up there it won't. The idea is that because we're up so high, and this is literally the edge of the 128 block bubble, there isn't really a whole lot more that they can do. So let's switch that to being a self. There we go. It's night vision. Yeah, so these guys here, the idea is they will be drawn towards the middle into a portal, basically because they're going to try to squish a turtle egg. So I got some turtle eggs from another guy on the server, Amiran. Kind of helping me with some of these things where he'll go get resources. And in return, I make these little areas. So I'm going to clear out the second floor now. And I think... Yeah, I'm just going to skip through that. That's a pretty boring thing. It's basically just the same as what I did. Just another 2-high platform, only up 3 blocks from here, so that there's a 1-block gap. I've got a little stairway over here, up to 121. And, yep, we're just going to do this. So, see you in a little bit. So we are almost done with the actual spawning areas here. In the middle, normally you'd put an obsidian portal for the nether, but this isn't vanilla, so we're gonna go with this. So we need a 3x2. Jump up that high? Okay. So just a standard nether portal sized portal here, but it's going to be a warp portal instead, which can work with any of the arcane bricks. In this case, I'm just using the standard arcane brick because it's what I had. Also want to break 2 blocks in front of it, and behind it here you want a little room. So I'm going to do that. It's got some living rock for that. Now, normally in this design, what you do is you'd have a turtle egg right here. The problem though is, yeah, I thought of this maybe 5 minutes ago. So turtle eggs will work for these guys. So zombie piglins will of course run over here. They'll try to squish the egg, step on the portal, and warp up to killing area. The problem, however, is these guys are not the only things I have to deal with here. So of course the regular piglins, they're fine. They'll despawn. They'll run to the corners because all the zombies are in the middle. They'll run to the corners. They'll despawn because it's 128 away. However, what will not despawn, and I don't know if there's any up here or not. We have one other mod because this is modded, and that is we have quark foxhounds. So they're these little flaming dog things, which generally are kind of a pain. A good source of leather, I guess, but I've got 16,000 of that. Yes, I'm going to have to do some thinking about that. I don't know if they will try to squish the egg. If they do want to squish the egg, then perfect. Plan's done. It'll just work. But if they don't, then that's going to be a little bit of a problem. I might have to put a sheep in here. I don't know if they'll even chase sheep. I think they will. I don't actually know though. So for now, I'm just going to finish building this thing here. I don't want them to be able to squish the egg, so I block up here as well. And basically just kind of like this. Cool. Break that. And I don't want the front accessible either. I'm just going to block all of that. Okay. So nothing is spawnable on top of there. They can't get into the egg anywhere from around here. That's all good. The only way guys up here can get in is jumping through right here, which of course puts them right there. So let's go ahead and close this off entirely. There we go. So now only way to the egg down here is also through the front. Cool. Egg will go right there. Now, so the problem is, like I said, I don't know if I need a sheep or not here for the foxhounds. I'm going to try it without it and see kind of what happens. I am admin on the server, so I can check the entity list. If I do forge entity list, so we can get an idea of how many things are in here anyway. Ideally, foxhounds should basically be 0. It'll probably be 18. Hopefully no more. But if that number keeps climbing up, then of course that's going to be impacting my spawn rate for the zombified piglins. So we will deal with that. If I'm lucky, they actually may count towards passive or neutral mobs. I don't actually know if they're hostile or not. I mean, obviously they are hostile, they want to kill you. But I don't know if they're considered part of the hostile mobs for the mob cap. So that's something I'll have to consider. Do you trade for gold swords? Or do you just keep throwing it? Okay, you just keep switching back and forth between the two. Okay, cool. So you trade. So the next thing I need to do is in the corners here, between the first floor and the second floor, or second, first, whatever you want to call it, I need to put in some oak trapdoors, or any trapdoor really will work. But in this case I have dark oak, because that's what I've got a lot of. So open those up so that mobs up here can fall down. Apparently I've got a gas somewhere around here, but that's okay, it'll despawn. Basically, the top of the nether is pretty much solid anyway, so there aren't really any spawnable areas up here. Open that, and over here as well. It's on the squeak. Okay, and the last one right here. Open, 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 open. That is now done. I wonder if I need it here too. No, because they'll just come running, because if I kill something down here, they start running anyway. Enderman here, he won't be a problem because I'm going to close up this stairway when I'm done. That foxhound down there is what I'm worried about. So we will see if that works. I need to place this. Let's get a block. So I'll eventually have the egg here. Put this, break you, flip you up. Okay, so with that, they shouldn't be able to reach anything in here. They'll think that they can because of the... There's not even an egg in there. Okay. Okay, and the reason why I wanted to kill them off is because I wanted this foxhound to stay here while everyone else is gone. Just want to check to see if it'll actually even chase that. Which... kind of looks like it does, or are you going after me? You're going after me. Okay, well, we'll play it by ear. If either it will or it won't. If it will, then problem solved, it'll just work, and I'll get some leather and stuff out of it as well. If not, then I will play around, see if I can put maybe a sheep in here, see if that will work. Yeah, not sure. But I think this is basically ready to go. I think I can get rid of this block. Yeah. Okay, so with that, the spawn area is actually completely done, except for opening this portal. So for that, I need to actually have a place for the portal to go, so I can link it. So we're going to go up above the roof. Zacharias actually has a warp portal already set up that'll get us just up there. Then from there, we'll come back over here, climb all the way up to the top, up to Y245, I believe. And from there, put up a little killing chamber platform to stand on. And basically then we can just light this and we're done. So yeah, real simple. And of course F3G shows the chunk borders, and so I want it to be right here. So the portal is directly under me right here, or the portal frame I should say. And from there we are basically ready to go. So touch mage block gets us a little scaffold. So up to 245 we go. Probably there we go. Alright, see you up there. So we are up here near the roof of the Nether. I've got Zacharias walking around here. He just brought me a bunch of glass, which is awesome. And I've got a small little area set up. Now, the idea is you'd stand right here, and mobs would drop down basically right there. With that, I think this is actually ready to go, except I want to put a couple chests here to act as basically a thing for them to land on. So we'll place you, and we can break you and you. Didn't want to click twice. There we go. So with that, let's pop back up here and we can link our scroll. Okay, there we go. And scroll is in our storage area here. So I've got a couple random ones here. I'm going to grab 2 of these actually. I want one for getting up here myself, and then one for this portal. So let's set you. So this is the kill chamber. And then this one here will be for actually how we get up here. Bounce apparently. Let's come over here. We're going to get a little bit more room, just that when we warp up here, we don't need to worry about anything. Okay. And you are set already. I need you. Okay. This one. So right here I think is where it'll be. And I think that'll be either of those blocks. I'm not sure which. But basically, once we break this last block up here, break you. Oh, I've got one more up there. No, we can just do it this way. Okay, that is now closed, or that's now open, I should say. Mobs will start dumping into there very soon. So we're going to pop down below. I don't know if I have a way back below. Do we have a way down? I might be able to blink through. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, I can just do home. Okay, we'll just head back over to Zacharias' place. I actually need to stop home anyway to grab a jar. One of those. with that, I think we're ready to go. So let's head over to Zachrys's and get back on the roof of the Nether. Or below the Nether, I should say. So we are back down here. As far as the foxhounds, Zachrys actually had a solution, and that is we have the Megatorch mod on here. I think it's called Torchmaster. And so Megatorches, I use these around my base to prevent spawns of monsters, but there's also dread lamps. So go there. Apparently they're not too concerned about me. Oh, they're chasing them. Okay, well, we're just gonna kind of solve that problem. Tons of zombie backups. But I think this is basically done. Let's kill all the zombies. Which is basically the output of this farm is going to be these guys anyway, so that is awesome. Kill you, and... Okay, now I'm just going to let most of the stuff despawn. I don't actually need any of it. I'll take the heads though. Don't need that anymore, don't need that. Don't need any more glass. You can go back. You won't go anywhere. Okay. Let me clean up stuff here a little bit. Lots of gold just dropped. You know, no, I don't need gold anyway. I'm going to be getting a lot of gold from this. So let's just continue with what we were doing. We'll put this back into storage. And we need, let's see, Y245. This is how we get up there ourselves. And this one here is into the kill chamber. So let's grab a source jar. Plop it down nearby. I'm just going to double check you're still there. Okay, good. And toss you in. Poof. Now, I'm going to get a leap spell ready here, and I'm going to pop out. And I believe, once we step down below there... Excuse me. You're not supposed to exist. But, pop down here, and this is probably just going to start swarming very soon. So we're just going to let it sit for a little bit. And I can see the mobs on the map down there below. You can see the little red dots. They should start just kind of pouring in. Yeah. So, yeah, we've got a farm. And everything here is glass, so there shouldn't be any area for backup zombies. Do that, or we can go with our kill spell and kill the zombies. So, yeah, farm seems to be working. Lots of stuff here. I don't need any of the swords. I am going to basically have to get a sorting system for this one, just because there's so much stuff that it drops. These swords, especially. But, yeah, that's basically done. One thing I want to do... Okay. Well, one thing I do want to do is I need to patch up the stairwell. So I'm going to go down and do that right now. As well as clean up a couple other things, and we will be back right after that. Okay, so I've been running this for maybe 5 minutes. We've got Zachrys up here as well, so I'm not sure if that changes how the spawn cap works. But, yeah, it's working. It's working. Currently we've got 18 gold blocks after maybe 3 minutes, 5 minutes, somewhere in there. We've got a couple hundred rock flesh blocks. And basically, if we don't do anything, we're just going to die of anyway. So, it's basically fully AFK just as it is. I just need a hopper block or something to collect everything. Golden swords are a problem, but we'll deal with that. But, yeah. Either way, this is working. There is one problem with this, and I'm going to go over that in a second. Yeah, I made one mistake on it. And that problem is actually that I made 2 farms on accident. Yeah, we've also got a wither farm now. It's basically the same design, just in a nether fortress. If we look down below here, there's a nether fortress over here. Our gold farm is this one over here. I made another fortress over here. Yeah, similar concept in how it works. There's a bounding box around the fortress, somewhere around this area here. I could have actually probably put it over here and it would have been a little bit more effective, but not entirely sure. Right now, Zachris is over by the gold farm still. It just kind of flew off without telling him. So it's not anywhere near as fast as it could be. I actually have around 100 or so wither skeleton skulls already. I don't actually need them. But yeah, it's a thing. Yeah, it's actually it was a pretty simple design as well. Basically, like I said, the same thing. A little bit more complicated, just out of it has to be within the bounding box. So there is a Y coordinate requirement, so it's down at Y83 instead of Y118 or 120. So there you do get a couple more spawns in the surrounding area, but it's not that big. Yeah, there's already, like, this was empty when I got here, right? You just saw that. It also gets blazes occasionally. Yeah, we've got a few heads. But because this is in a soul sand valley, there aren't really that many other mobs that actually spawn here. I've got one skeleton down there somewhere in this area, so I may have to look at that. That might be within spawn range. But that's about it. Yeah, here's 3 heads. There's a wither right there. So, yeah, I accidentally made 2 farms. Kind of got distracted. It was a shiny thing, so I made a second one. Yeah. So we are back over by the kind of beginning fortress. Right down here is our Nether Portal. Stop bouncing, please. So this is from Zachris's place. Right now we don't really have an actual Nether warp portal hub thingy. We have this one. This just gets us straight up. In fact, if we pop up here, there's another portal right there to just send us right back down where we were. But I would like to get a actual, like, hub. The thing with these warp scrolls there is that they only work within the same dimension. So I can't have this go to the overworld, I can't have one from the overworld go to the gold farm, which is roughly that direction. So, yeah, it's not, I'm going to need to have an actual hub here to get there. If it works, I can, it's, you know, 20 seconds to fly to either of those, it's no big deal, but it would be nice to have an actual organized space here. Now, as for where we want to do that, that's a wonderful question, and I think I don't actually have the answer on my own. I do want to work with the rest of the guys on the server to kind of organize something like that. We do have a public hub on the overworld, but I think currently it's still kind of in progress. If we pop back over here, no, that'll take a while. So, yeah, I do want to get a actual portal hub, and I do probably want to use actual portals instead of, you can also do it with these warp, with runes that are set to warp. That's what I'm going to do in my base for getting around, but for something like this, those have an actual source cost each time you teleport, whereas this, it just costs a jar to make the portal, and after that, it's just free forever. So I think for something like a hub here, where it's not going to be loaded for very long, so it's not going to be able to actually generate enough source to keep itself active. Don't want to get there. So because of that, I think I do want to go with the portals, but that does mean we need to come up with a bigger design. Right now we are, like I said, in the middle of a fortress. I think this bounding box is roughly that square. That's both the one over here. So yeah, I need to figure out where to put that. I don't really want it within the bounding area of the fortress, just because then we can't use nether brick for the design. Which, you know, it fits the nether theme, so we may want to do that. Or maybe not. I don't know. Like I said, I need to work with the rest of the guys on the server for that. But I think this is a good spot to call it. We've got 2 new farms. Gold is no longer a problem. I've got, I think I have 350 gold blocks now, which is perfect. I don't actually need that much gold for recipes or anything. Yes, a lot of Ars Nouveau stuff does use gold, but only a few gold ingots, maybe a few blocks total. But what I want it for is for building. It is a kind of nice building block. It goes well with the purple from Ars Nouveau. This there is actually now gilded arcane brick. Look at gilded. It's a little vibrant, more vibrant than I'd like. We also have chisel and bits on here, so I do want to get into that. However, currently there's a bug in that and it doesn't actually work on the server. It's kind of annoying. But do want to build with that, so I think we're going to call it there. We've got a lot done. 2 new farms, gold, and nether, or wither skeletons, whatever they're called. So that means we can do things like a golden beacon base. We can do just lots of beacons. We can do whatever. Beacons for decoration. That's the thing we can do now. I have 100 wither skulls. So, thank you for watching, and have a great day. Bye-bye.